My lighting is so whacked and I have to record this for the second time. So this week's episode of Supernatural was fucking great. Mostly because Jack roasted Nick alive and that felt super satisfying to watch. Honestly, I just want to know why Mary is so salty at Jack for doing what he did to Nick. Because if I had the opportunity to burn that motherfucker alive, I definitely would. But a lot happened in this episode. I was right when I said that Castiel is on a search for God in order to help Jack, and that Jack possibly hurt or even killed Mary. What is unfortunate though is the fact that Nick is still alive. He was shown in the promo for the next episode along with Castiel, Dean, and Jack. The alt-world Bobby will also be making an appearance in the next episode as well as Rowena. So Jack stopped Nick from bringing Lucifer back from the empty, but that may still be a possibility considering Jack and Nick are shown together in the promo in the next episode. I'm assuming that after what Jack might have done to Mary, the only person he can turn to now would be Nick, considering Sam and Dean are going to be trying to find him in the next episode. One thing I'm not too sure about though is the state of Jack's soul. Up to this point, we were led to believe that Jack still had at least some of his soul left, but now A&L was saying that he has no soul.
Because in your mind, it'd be easier to call God than to tell Sam and Dean Winchester the truth.
The truth?
Jack's soul is gone, Castiel.
And from the looks of the promo, I think that might be the case.
I failed you. You're dead to me.
With the fact that this season hangs with only 3 more episodes left to wrap it up, I have a feeling that there are going to be a few big things that are going to happen by the end of the season. So let's get into it. First, the case of Jack. At the end of this episode, Jack started hearing the ringing for Angel Radio. That's when we heard him say Mary at the end when the screen went black, which made me very concerned. I just want to know who was trying to communicate with Jack, and I have 2 guesses. The first one would be Lucifer. It would make sense. Nick was just about to let Lucifer out of the empty until Jack came by and stopped it. And if Lucifer is awake in the empty, he could probably sense Jack. It makes even more sense because in order to talk to Lucifer, Nick injected Angel Grace into Donatello and used him as a telephone. But because Jack already has that grace inside him and also has a gateway to the empty, it makes sense that Lucifer could have reached out to him that way. My second guess would be God. Considering Castiel was on a search for God in this episode, I don't doubt that we will eventually see Chuck back as we get closer to the finale. Chuck could have been reaching out to Jack. For what reason, you may ask? I got no fucking clue. If Chuck did need to talk to Jack, I think he would just pop in like he is usually able to. So that's why I'm more on the side that it could have been Lucifer. Regardless, Jack probably hurt or even killed Mary in this episode, and that is not going to fly by Sam and Dean that smoothly. Which is why we can assume that the reason that Jack is going to be with Nick next episode is going to be because of what he did to Mary. Nick even says there's no going back now, they're never going to trust you again. I'll throw the clip up from the promo.
There's no going back now. They're never gonna trust you again.
Hurting Mary would definitely be a reason why the Winchesters would shun someone, so I don't doubt that this will be the reason. Jack continues to get more worrisome as each episode goes by, and I think in the next episode it's going to be revealed that Jack lost his soul. The episode after the next will be the 19th episode, which is called Jack in the Box, which you guys have heard me say like 1,000 times, and I honestly think that it is going to lead up to Jack possibly getting thrown in the box. As I already said before, I think that Jack might willingly go into the box considering his circumstance. It's a pretty usual Winchester thing to do, you know, sacrifice yourself for the greater good, but if he doesn't willingly go into the box, I don't doubt that Sam and Dean will do it for him. As much as I want Jack to be okay, and as much as I want Jack to not be evil and not kill people, I think this was going to happen eventually. I am hoping that after this we do get to see Jack redeem himself, but if he did kill Mary, that is going to be a hard one to come back from. The only thing that goes against my whole Jack in the Box theory is that Jack is going to be in the episode after, which is the season finale, but I will get into that in a little bit. Next, we are going to talk about Nick and Lucifer. Unfortunate. So apparently Nick can survive being burned alive. Actually, scratch that. I think that Jack definitely did kill him, but because of the looks of the promo for Absence, I'm gonna take an educated guess and say that Jack probably healed Nick. The question we have to ask now is, what is Nick planning to do with Jack? And just like Lucifer, I think Nick is an old dog with the same tricks. He's gonna keep trying to bring back Lucifer no matter what. and Jack is gonna want to help him. The reason? Jack is his biological son. Even though we've seen the resentment that Jack has for Lucifer, he never really did get to know him. And Jack is still just a kid. He can easily be persuaded and manipulated by Nick because Nick knew a good amount of what Lucifer was doing at the time, which means he has info on Jack and he can use his knowledge of what Lucifer felt to manipulate Jack. And you know what? I'm scared. Jack may want to just talk to Lucifer, but I have a feeling that this whole thing is going to bite everybody in the ass. While I'm glad that Lucifer was not released from the empty this episode, I can't say for sure that it won't happen later. Considering Nick is still a threat and now he's going to have Jack on his side, this could end absolutely horribly. Next, Castiel and God. Castiel now has the amulet, which I am glad they finally bought back that relic. I think that my one wish for season 15 is to have Dean wear the amulet at least once. Anyway, now that he has the amulet, if Chuck does want to make his big grand appearance, he will have the opportunity to do so. But we need to remember that the amulet only works if Chuck turns it on, as we learned in season 11. Considering the promo for the next episode, I don't think Chuck is going to return just yet. But I think this is where Castiel is going to spill the beans to Sam and Dean about Jack and possibly even about his deal with the Empty. It was rumored that Rob Benedict, the guy who plays Chuck on Supernatural, if you didn't know, was seen on set. Now, I don't know the sources of that just because it was something that I saw on Instagram, but I just thought I'd mention it because it doesn't seem too far-fetched. If the show is going to be ending next season, then this would be the perfect time to bring Chuck back for the final season to ally with the Winchesters. In the next episode, Dean is pissed at Cass for not telling them about Jack. This leads me to believe that Castiel knows that Jack doesn't have his soul, and he's known this for the entire time. The only reason why he was trying to reach out to God was to have Jack's soul restored.
Only God can restore a soul. And that's why you need him.
Right.
That would make more sense considering we know that Castiel has the ability to see people's souls, but he could have just not said anything in fear that Sam and Dean would be too worried about Jack. The whole "you're dead to me" thing that Dean says to Cass just doesn't seem right, and it just doesn't sit with me. I have a feeling that there's probably going to be more to Dean being pissed off at Cass, because I don't think Dean would just say that to Cass unless he was really fucking pissed off. I am worried about Castiel's stance with the Winchesters after the season because of that scene in the promo. I really do not want them to kick Cass out or shun him because we need Cass. Without Jack being 100%, Castiel is the next most powerful creature that the Winchesters have on their side besides Rowena. In the next episode, the only thing that the synopsis says is that Sam and Dean continue to worry about the conditions of Jack's soul. But the synopsises for the next 2 episodes after that have been released. For Jack in the Box, which is season 14, episode 19, the synopsis says, "A pillar of salt. Sam, Dean, and Castiel investigate a string of suspicious deaths that have a biblical element to them." And for the last episode of the season, which is called Mariah, the synopsis says, "All hell breaks loose on a shocking season finale. Sam, Dean, and Castiel are thrown into an epic battle. Meanwhile, Jack becomes disenchanted with all the lies, and an old friend from the past shows up." Taking these synopsises into consideration with the promo for the next episode, I have a few ideas. First, Chuck is definitely coming back, but he might not be the only one coming back. In episode 19, if there is a bunch of deaths that have a biblical element to them, this could mean that Chuck is returning or that Lucifer is returning. If you remember back to the original Apocalypse, similar things happened when Lucifer was freed. One thing I did want to mention was the title of the season finale, Mariah. According to Wikipedia, Mariah is a name given to a mountainous region by the books of Genesis, in which context it is the location of sacrifice of Isaac? I don't know. The Vulgate renders the location specified by God for the sacrifice as Termanvisionis. I can't pronounce that word, traditionally rendered land of vision in Catholic translations. So after doing a little bit more research into the religious background of the name Mariah, I have a feeling that this is going to be the episode that Chuck returns. Now, what I said probably didn't make sense, if you guys aren't, like, Bible thumpers, which I'm assuming you're probably not. But considering the name comes from the Bible, and in the Bible, Mount Moriah is a place where a sacrifice is made, and then the Lord appears, at least in a vague sense, that would lead me to believe that Chuck is coming back. This makes me believe that they are going to need Chuck's help in order to fight whatever they may be fighting in the finale. I have no doubt in my mind that the old friend that shows up will definitely be Chuck. So where does this leave us? Well, if Jack is in the last episode, then it is safe safe to say that he may not end up in the box this season. Jack in the Box could also be a term for the devil, so maybe the SPN writers were just trying to fuck with us. But I'm not taking that possibility off the table just yet. One thing is for sure though, whatever Sam and Dean are fighting, it's going to be big, and it's going to trigger Chuck to come down and help. I think that they may possibly be fighting the Empty, but I'm not 100% positive just yet. Maybe the episode could be called Mariah in regards to Castiel's sacrifice, which he made with the Empty, and now Chuck may feel the need to fix it, or maybe even he fights the Empty with them. I had a small feeling that this big battle could be against Lucifer, but again, I think it's a little bit too early to tell. But these are just my predictions. That's basically all I have to say for now. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to check out my social media, links down in the description below. I'll throw my users on screen, my Twitter, my Instagram, all that jazz. Maybe I'll make this the new part of my outros from now on, just so I can plug my social medias. Gotta get them followers, right? Anyways, I hope you all had a nice day. Don't get possessed by any demons, and please, for the love of God, do not say yes to Satan. Bye.